You know it's no longer casual when it starts affecting the rest of your life. And that's where Shane and Ilya's story starts getting really interesting. That's what makes this stretch of the Cottage episode from heated rivalry so powerful. Up to this point, the episode's been tender and intimate, but there's another shift happening because now the relationship between Shane and Ilya is no longer just private. It's starting to press outward into family, into identity, into fear, into the versions of themselves they can no longer fully perform. Welcome to the Good Life Lab, where queer stories meet the science and psychology of the good life. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave, and I'm a therapist, positive psychology researcher, and college professor turned content creator and YouTuber. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you would. It would help me get to my next milestone goal, which is 1,000 subscribers. So please take the time to subscribe if you would. And if you're new here, I'm also doing this month-long contest called the Compass Quest Contest, where I leave clues through some of my episodes, take you to Substack sometimes, take you to my website, and reveal clues along the way from heated rivalry, but also from my story and from my website to help you just pay attention to your own life in many ways and what your heart, what your desires, what your passions might be telling you. So in key episodes throughout this month, collect clues, and at the end of the month, you will compile and submit them on my website for a chance to win one of 3 prizes. So I hope you'll join us. It's kind of a fun way of just learning about gay love stories like heated rivalry. It's just my way of having a little bit more fun for myself, but also to teach life lessons from stories like heated rivalry, but also from psychology to integrate the two and help you learn about your own life some more. So please join the Compass Quest Contest hunt. First letter in Compass, which is a coaching framework that I developed actually, stands for clues and coordinating points. So that's why I'm talking about the clues found in the Cottage episode as well, just things that are revealed in our lives in the stories that can help us kind of understand what life might be telling us to do. These life clues might be little things that continue to surface in our lives. Could be fears, could be desires, could be passions, longings, loves, anything like that, patterns that keep showing up that might be calling us in a specific direction if we just pay attention. And so that's what this month is about, is just learning to pay attention to our own lives, but also learning a little bit about some of the stories we just enjoy. So today I'm in the series and I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the Cottage episode and some of the clues revealed throughout that episode. We've found at least 33. If you've been looking yourself, you might find more than that, but some of them are subtle. Some of them are, bigger reveals, but could be things that you see for the first time as a viewer, but also some of the characters see in each other. Like the parents see Shane come out for the first time, and then Shane even learns from his parents that they thought he might be gay. So those are all subtle reveals that happen in this episode. So we're on Cottage clue reveal number 27, counting down to number 1. And I'm kind of going through the episode sequentially. So I'm kind of analyzing scenes of the episode as they unfold. And this one I'm calling It's Ilya's Fault Shane Hasn't Told His Parents Yet. So it's where they're sitting outside, I think, around the table after eating lunch, and Ilya asks Shane if he's come out to his parents yet, or if his parents know, and Shane says no. The implication is that it's Ilya's fault because they're rivals, and if his parents found out that they were together, that would be more of an issue. This one is subtle, but it matters. When it becomes clear that Shane still hasn't told his parents he's gay, and that part of the reason is Ilya, we learn something important. This relationship is becoming serious enough to disrupt Shane's life. That's huge, because now this isn't just a private desire. It isn't just something they can keep secret anymore in hotel rooms and stolen weekends. Now it's pressing outward into family, into identity, into their future. And that's one of the clear signs that something matters when it starts demanding honesty in other parts of your life. Sometimes a relationship reveals itself by changing what you can no longer avoid. All right, number 26. Ilia is afraid of the Loons. I love this reveal. It's funny, it's oddly specific, and it completely humanizes Ilia. Ilia isn't just intense, guarded, sexy, and emotionally loaded. He's also a little ridiculous. He startles, he reacts, he's vulnerable in this small, playful way. And he's becoming more of himself. And that matters because the Cottage keeps pulling them out of performance, out of being something that they're not. It lets them be more ordinary with each other, more unguarded, more themselves. And often that's one of the first deeper clues in any developing relationship. Not just that somebody wants you, but that they're starting to let you see them. Not the polished version, the real one, the quirky one, the scared one, the playful one. That kind of revelation matters. Cottage clue revealed number 25. Ilia is jealous of Rose. This is where jealousy enters the room. And jealousy is one of those feelings that tells the truth before language does. Because jealousy usually means something matters to us more than we're willing to admit. It tells us there's an attachment, an investment, a wish for reassurance, or maybe even exclusivity, or at least some clear sense of where we are in the relationship. And what makes this really important is that it shows the emotional range that Ilia feels for Shane. It isn't just heat or lust or even just physical comfort. There's protectiveness here, possessiveness emerging, fear perhaps of losing ground, of losing Shane in some way. There's longing underneath the jealousy. And it's something early on, I don't think I would have thought Ilia would be jealous of Shane. I think we see that in Shane, and now we're seeing the deeper parts of Ilia's heart, that he feels possessive of Shane. Even though he knows Shane's fully gay, he still has the sense of jealousy about Shane's relationship with Rose. And that's part of what the Cottage reveals. This relationship already has emotional stakes. And honestly, that's part of why the stretch of the episode, The Cottage, feels so real to me. Because in life, one of the clues that something really matters to you is that it starts pressing against the rest of your life. This definitely happened to me. For years, I tried to keep my desires for men in a box, my faith in another box, in my professional life in still another box. I really thought that if I prayed hard enough, if I tried hard enough, if I did what I thought I should do as a Christian, that I could keep these desires at bay, at the very least, maybe even change them and keep them separate from my professional life. So I kept them hidden. I kept them in a box. But the truth kept pressing forward, pressing out. My desire to come out to others, even in subtle ways, I needed to confess. I needed to be open about my secrets with somebody. And slowly, over time, that began to happen. I couldn't keep my desires for men contained. I did for a long time, but it eventually came out in different ways. And what I tried to keep private started to spill out. Maybe even in more subtle ways. I was just depressed. My relationships were impacted because I couldn't be honest about how I was feeling for other men. And so that kept me in isolation. When we keep a secret like that, it doesn't go away. It just goes underground, and even like roots, it spreads within our soul, within our mind. And that's what we see happening with Shane and Ilya. So they tried for 10 years, but eventually things began to spill out into other parts of their life. And so that's what's happening in this episode. So as I wrap up this episode of The Cottage Clues Revealed, let me ask you, what feeling or truth in your life has started pressing into other areas? Enough that you can't quite keep it in a box anymore. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a grief, an unresolved grief. Maybe it's a longing, a desire, a dream. Maybe it's a future that you keep trying not to think about. You don't have to solve it or resolve it today. Just begin noticing those things in your life where you feel like by being quiet about something or secretive about something, what it's doing to the rest of your life. What's begging you to begin to reveal some things in your life that you haven't been. Just begin by noticing what you're thinking about and those internal longings or yearnings or desires. Just pay attention to them, because that's part of the C that I mentioned earlier in Compass. It's not certainty, it's not pressure, it's just paying attention to the messages in everyday events. So I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to reveal the next Compass clue. And if you're following along in the Compass Quest contest, the next clue word is repeats. So repeats, keep track of it, write it down, and begin to collect these clues so you can submit them at the end of March on my website for a chance to win a prize. So look at the description below. I'll give you more instructions about the Compass Quest contest. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm just like 300 subscribers away from my first 1,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone. I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. All right, have a great rest of your day and enjoy the Compass Quest hunt.